Good morning, those of you who possess XY chromosomes and those of you who possess YY chromosomes. If you don't think you're in one of those two categories, this is probably not the video you should be watching. There are plenty of self-help videos available on YouTube. I suggest you look them up. Today, I thought I'd share what I accomplished yesterday. Here we have the Miss Exide, and it's currently sporting turn fin mark. What would this be? This is turn fin mark 3, and I have turn fin mark 4, one that's completely flat that I'll be using for testing. But the real reason is I wanted to show you my Wang. I got a Wang. Check it out. Here's my Wang. Now, this is a pretty cool little Wang, and I'll tell you the thought process I'm going through now. This thing travels a good 40 miles an hour, and at 40 miles an hour, this is going to have some impact. It's either going to have some downforce or some upforce, and I'd like to be able to adjust that. Now, how am I going to do that? Well, quite frankly, I don't have an answer yet. I have some thoughts in the back of my head, but I haven't really come up with a solution. But here's the wing. Let's talk about it, and we'll talk about how it's going to work. This is 0.5 millimeter carbon fiber. And what I did is I took two pieces and I taped them together to where there was about 5/32 of an inch between the edges, and I used electrical tape. And then I opened up this taco shell, so to speak, and I put this small carbon fiber rod on the tape in between the two sheets, smeared epoxy on it, and folded it over to where it was a pretty tight V, darn near as tight as it is right here. And that's pretty tight. So my taco was pretty tight, and I let the epoxy cure. Then I came back in and put a little epoxy on the trailing edge, and I epoxy coated the main spar, and I clamped down the trailing edge on the light table, and then with the spar out, I drizzled epoxy on it and kind of spun it as I slid it in and sort of moved it around to where I got the same spacing on either side from the leading edge rod to the spar. And that made a nice little wing section, perfect little wing section. So my plan is to use the spar as mounting, and I may just epoxy in the next size carbon fiber tube that slips over this, sand it flush, and this will plug into a hole there. Then the problem becomes, how do you adjust it? How do you adjust it? And that, boys and girls, is what I'm working on. So I'm open to ideas. I sort of like now the full-size boats are ground adjustable. That they can adjust them in the pits depending on what the driver wants. And so I'd like to be able to do that. And I'd thought about, set screws, and I'd thought about just having it where I could tighten it up, and that's where it would stay on friction. So I haven't come up with a good idea. And I know there's a lot of you out there full of good ideas. There's a lot of you out there full of harebrained ideas. And I'm welcome to entertaining either one of those. So until next time, jet out.